Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the Newage Legendary Heroes 65Y Cannonball figure, which I'm sure you can guess, and I've got to take my hat off to Newage for this. This is a brilliant use of their hoist mold. This is a Transformers Generation 1 Scorch figure. Absolute genius. I can't wait to see this guy in hand. So of course we're going to open him up from the packaging, have a look at his accessories, do some comparisons with the original owner and subsequent uses of the same mold, and then of course, because I'm lucky enough to have the G1 figure, we can have a look at him compared to that as well. So before we get started, I just remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. And also to thank Show Z, because that's where this came from, and as you can see, they got him to me quickly and safely. So the packaging is standard excuse me, yeah, Newage figures. What they've done here, this is brilliant. This is an absolute, again, complete carbon copy of the old packaging for the original G1 figure. I'll show you that in the second part. And yeah, he's all labelled up. If you wondered why he's not called Scorch or any of the other subsequent names that he was called in Japanese and European terminology, it's because this isn't licensed by Hasbro or Takara, so they can't use his proper name. So quite clever. Well, it's naughty, isn't it? Let's be honest, but that is why he is not called either of them. Let's have a look inside the package. They typically, same with Hasbro figures, if it's a constant use of the same mold, I don't usually spend too much time on the figure because, again, it's exactly the same. But this is a completely different concept, and as I've already said, I have to take my hat off to them because it's just genius. In fact, let's get rid of all of these. The instructions are probably no use, and this is what lets third-party companies down. Look at this. So there you go. The instructions, as you can see, are still for Keaton, which is hoist, even though this looks nothing like that, and I'm sure the back will be slightly different. Who knows? Anyway, I'll upload a tutorial for you. Out comes the figure. Let's move the box out of the way and let's start off with the alternate mode then. So as I say, this was the big thing that surprised me with hoist. Newage don't normally do this. They normally have everything so sort of on point, shall we say. I'm just going to take this QC pass sticker off, which I probably should have left on, because now I'm going to have a big what's the word I'm after, sticky resin. In fact, I am I've got no look at all. Let's just get rid of it, but let's look at the figure. So you can clearly tell, as I say, that it is the hoist mold, and it's a very clever use, as I've already stated, to be the Scorch figure. So the accessories that he's got, I think you can attach the weapons to the back. Now I say I think because, again, if you probably had a quick look at them instructions like I did, they don't really tell you anything. They don't tell you. I'm sure you can look, yeah, you can attach that via there, and I'm not sure what else you can do. I'm going to hopefully try and find out. What I mean by this is, if you have a look again, it doesn't show you anything. It doesn't show you where to put the accessories, how to use them, nothing at all like that. So to be honest, let's give you an idea of how big this thing is. It is tiny. It's what's known as a legend scale figure. So that's just a G1 cliff jumper figure. I'm just trying to bring in a few random figures here as well. That is a Bumblebee, which you can see, of course, that's the Netflix one. So it's even smaller than the Netflix Bumblebee. This is a small deluxe figure as well. It's much smaller than that. So of course, in fact, one more last one just to bring it up to show you, because as I say, if you've seen the hoist and the animated Ratchet figure reviews, it's the same mold. So that gives you an idea of the size of it. Last thing to look at is all of these are, as I say, actually, that's painted on rather than anything at all. And the windscreen, that is actually translucent plastic just on the outside. But to be honest, guys, apart from showing you once again that all the wheels are individually pinned, they do work as they're supposed to. There's nothing more to say about him in this particular mode. Let's get him in his robot mode and see how he looks then. Okay, back for the final time then with him in his robot mode. Apologies, no transformation process on this video. That is because I have separately uploaded it. But before we have a look at the figure itself, as promised, here is the box. And I really don't have a clue how they get away with this. So I might have to just lift this up, even to the bits in the background of the grey and the silver around on it. Fury, if you're wondering why he's called Fury in this, and I said he was called Scorch, that's because this is the Italian version. But look, even to the little bits of detail, it's crazy how they get away with that. But anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. Let's have a look at the figure. So again, if you're unfamiliar with these are dubbed as mini masterpieces because, as I said, legend scale. So legend scale, to give you an idea, that's a Blockies figure. That's an oldie figure. Let's bring in some figures that you probably will know, mainline ones. That is a Soundwave figure. You can't even see him, look. That's how small this guy is. So that's Soundwave. This is a figure that everybody knows. That is, of course, Commander Class Optimus Prime, but you can see he is towering above him. Let's bring in some other Prime figures because I find that most people have Primes. So obviously it helps with size and scale for you to gauge how big he is. That is the core class. That is the smaller deluxe class. I've got Newage Prime, but typically can't seem to see him at the moment. I will find him in a second though, because I know you're going to want to see him to get an idea of scale with that particular figure. But anyway, that's just some normal Primes. Let me move these out of the way and let me show you, as I say, why these are dubbed as mini masterpieces. So the heads, it doesn't have the light piping like the G1 original, but it looks like it did with that flashing, beautiful red eye visor. Head will go all the way around, look up and down. Shoulders can go all the way up, even with the full T, even without getting in the way. It's got its own separate additional hinge there if you want to move it. So with these, you can move these up and down, but they do slightly hinder this going all the way around. But you can go at an angle if you wanted to. There's a shoulder swivel. There's a bicep double flexion. You can see the double bend in that there. The wrists, again, I've got full rotation and you can take the hands off like so. And if you wanted to, and to be fair, it's not something I do a lot of, you can take these hands, pop them on, and you can see they've even got the additional wrist articulation there in that hinge as well. There's no waist articulation because you've seen us just clamp it together. The legs will kick all the way forward. They will kick all the way, will they? Maybe they won't. Am I doing something wrong? Oh, they don't kick backwards. I keep forgetting with these particular molds because I'm surprised because sometimes they have so much articulation. It's nuts like that. Look how far that goes out. They've got the swivel at the top though. They've got the knee bends. They've got the ankle tilt, toe tap, rock, etc. Again, super articulated for the size of the figure that we have in hand. Let me just quickly lower this down a fraction again so I can bring him closer so you can see that this is translucent plastic. It looks like we can pop the blaster here in his hand. I'm not too sure what these additional parts on the side are for. I've got to confess, again, I don't really know. I don't watch other people's reviews, so if somebody's put it in their review, then somebody drop me in the comments, let me know what the additional bits on the side for, unless it's just a homage to the original, because the original figure, which I can't seem to see and find, has the gun. Let me show you. So here's the G1 original, and if it is just an actual copy of the gun, then that's what I presume it could be. Now, of course, the G1 does have a firing mechanism in it, and this one doesn't at all. And of course, the G1, to be honest, doesn't have the wings at the back, but I just think it's a really clever, as I say, use of the hoist mold. And we haven't got another Scorch at all. I think there was one which was a Botcon one. But again, we are massively missing out on these Turbomaster figures, and everybody's screaming for them. And I think Newage jumped the gun and they got there first. Obviously, I'm hoping Hasbro will follow suit very soon. But there you go. That is him compared to that. As promised, there he is with Newage David, which is their take on an Optimus Prime, to give you an idea how they all scale together. What is going on with my figures today? They're all on the slant, aren't they? What is up with that? It's the feet. They are so articulate that the feet have got that many multiple points. That's better of articulation in the ankles. You can see exactly what I mean. Right, let's move him out of the way and let's just wrap this up, as I say, because it is a very clever use of this guy. And as I say, there is a toy deco version of him. There's an animated Ratchet. I'm not sure if there's any more just yet. They tend to use the mold 5 or 6 times at least. So we're up to 4. So expect to see some more, in all honesty. So the backs are slightly different just because they've all got different accessories. That's the only thing that's different really with these. Yeah, great little use of this mold. Nice little figure. Love the fact that it's a Turbomaster. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, he looks good. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.